and welcome back. Proudly sponsored by Hollywood Bets, or in association with Hollywood Bets. I'm never sure what I'm supposed to say there. Andrew usually says it.
Just keep mentioning Hollywood Bets and we're fine.
Yeah, that's true, Tom. Andrew's still away, so you have me again, and of course, Mr. Tom Rain. How are you, Tom?
Good, very, very good. Yeah, looking forward to Cheltenham. Cheltenham fever is hitting now, isn't it? So, yeah, this time next week, we'll all be millionaires.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be better if
any of your horses were running.
All the horses we have backed would run, because that would make us more millionaires.
Oh, Dave, I texted you today when I saw this one that's running at the weekend, and I was like, what's that doing running? That's Dave's horse for the champion bumper. Unfortunately.
What about Manella Crooner?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah. I can't complain too much. I've been lucky this year. But yeah, unfortunately, Crooner's out. Leaves it wide open for Chartreuse. I know you disagree, but
look, I just hope someone makes money somewhere along the way anyway.
It would be fine. All you need is one or maybe two of those anti-Bose tips to come in and you're up. So, and we'll be doing a P&L. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Imagine all three of us in negative. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah. We'll touch on that after we talk about the racing the weekend. We might touch on who we think is our best chance of getting some profit for us, and maybe who is our worst one.
I'm going to throw up a tip for next week as well that I've come across today, so we'll throw that up after these races are done. Okay,
so we're going to preview the weekend racing. It's not the best weekend of racing, as is the case. The majority of the good horses are staying back for Cheltenham next week, but we have 4 races from Sandown and 2 races from Naas on Sunday. Before we go into that, we are doing a preview on Monday night when the declarations are out for Tuesday and Wednesday, and I think Wednesday night when the declarations are out for Thursday and Friday. So we will be on show next week, and they could be live. I don't know if Andrew had scheduled them for live or not, but you'll have us next week on Monday and Wednesday. There'll be no talking points on Sunday because we'll be doing the shows Monday and Wednesday, and you'll get our final selections and our handicap selections and whatnot.
I do think those shows are live, Dave. I think he put it up that they're live, so yeah, tune in on Monday and Wednesday. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. But we'll go off to Sandown first and try and find a winner over the weekend. The first race we have is the the 150 at Sandown, the European Breeders' Fund Paddy Power National Hunt Novices Handicap Hurdle Final, a Grade 3. And I can't stop coughing. Get the water on board.
You do that, Dave.
Oh,
I'll give you my
selection. It's so cold all day today. It's just. Oh,
I bought it yesterday. I was so cold now. It's freezing. But yeah, I'll crack on with my one for this anyway.
Go on, fire away, so.
I feel we might put this horse up for something. Current Mood, Evan Williams' horse. She's a cracking little mare. I've really enjoyed watching her this season. She's run some really good races. She's got good form at Cheltenham behind Blazing Carl a couple of times. He's another one, Dave, isn't he, that we're missing from the Albert Bartlett. Horse Estimate. She was third behind them at Haydock in a listed race before going back to Chepstow and getting on the score sheet. Look, she stayed on the same mark. That was a novice hurdle. I think Isabella Williams will probably ride her again, and yeah, I'd give her a good chance. I think she's a pretty durable mare who tries very hard, and You know, she's really consistent. So yeah, I'd be hopeful with her.
Yeah, I like her at an each way price as an outsider. She's consistent and she's tough. Stables had a good year, to be honest. They've won some big races. I'd like her each way, and I do like the favourite, Nappers Hill. Paul Nichols's horses are in bit better form than they were a couple of weeks ago. It's 2 miles and nearly 4 furlongs on Saturday, and Nappers Hill has been running like a horse that wants to step up and trip. I think it'll suit him. I'm sure the John Bond fans would like to see another horse that he beat go out and frank the form. And the race previous to the Betfair Hurdle was the race at Ascot, where they kind of didn't go any pace. And he came third in that, Colonel Mustard, just ahead of him. So I don't mind that form. I think Nappers Hill has a good chance. And if you're getting kind of 5 to 1 about him as an each way price, I think he's a good bet. The next one is the Paddy Power Imperial Handicap Hurdle. Always a big betting race on the Saturday before Cheltenham. A grade 3 handicap. And sure, this one has the bonus, doesn't it? If you win this and then win the race at Cheltenham, so on and so forth. We have Any Harm in Asking, Balco Coastal, Langerdan is entered here. I doubt he'll run. History Bear, Carrera, One More for the Road, Samareve, West to the Bridge, Mr. Grey Sky, and then it's 14 to 1 bar those. A lot entered. Probably a lot of these won't run, but what are you looking at, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's $100,000 bonus for winning here and winning a race at Cheltenham. And Langerdan was just touched off last year. He won this and then was second behind Galloping Deschamps at Cheltenham. Rather unlucky, really, to bump into him. Be very interesting if they ran him here. I'm just looking at the dates. So last year he ran on the 21st of February, and then he ran in this race, and then went to Cheltenham. He made a seasonal debut on the 22nd of February. So, you know, I wouldn't rule it out. It wouldn't be my kind of thing to do, but he does look well handicapped, that horse, off that mark. And look, if he ran here, I think he'd take the world of beating. Balco Coastal, keen to give him another chance. I think that North Lodge form is relatively strong, and some good wins before that. 134, I can see him going close off that mark, either in this race or in the future. Current Mood is also entered in this. She could run here. I'm going to give a shout out to 2 of them. Surprise Package, a horse of Peter Fahey's, that if he took this over, it'd be quite interesting. Rated 129 in Ireland. It's got 135 in the UK, so £6 more. Has run some good races in handicaps at Leopardstown and Navan this year. Doesn't look like it's absolutely thrown in off its mark, but does look like there's a race in him at some stage off his mark. So he's one I'd keep an eye on, and the other one is a bit of a random one, really, that I went for, and I'm just trying to find him again. There is he go. Is Zambezi Fix, 25 to 1. Look, doesn't win very often. Not very often that horses move from Gordon Elliott's yard and go on to better things. This lad has done. He's moved to Bernard Dwellens, and he's got some good form. You know, he mixes between chasing and hurdles. Some good chase form last year, and this year he's got some good hurdles form. He was second in a listed novice handicap hurdle at Sandown, and he also was second on his other start at Sandown. So some good Sandown form. They've kept his mark pretty stable. They're giving him a chance, and just at a massive price, I thought he was the one who could go close.
I like Balco Coaster, but Nicky Henderson's form worries me. So I'd probably leave him alone, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't run and he runs next week in the county maybe or something like that. Of the suppose it's not really top of the market because it's still 8-9 to 1, but one more for the road is a decent each way price. I wouldn't put anybody off him. But the one I fell on is Zambezi Fix at 25 to 1. Same as Tom.
No way.
Yeah. He travels like a very good horse, but doesn't do a whole lot when he is going to the front. He kind of just gives up. So to me, he's a horse that's always threatened to win a decent enough race. He does run well around Sandown. I think he'll travel into the race nicely if there's a good pace. And then whether he gets dropped on the line or doesn't find, we don't know. But 25 to 1, I think is too big for him. And that's who I fell on.
Now, imagine that. We're both putting up a 25 to 1 shot.
Nuts. The 3 o'clock at Sandown, the next one, the British Stallion Studs EBF Mares Standard Open National Home Flat Race, a listed race over 2 miles. We've Mullenbeg as favourite, then Hidden Beauty, Ashro Diamond for Willie Mullins, Flirtatious Girl, Lucia, Fairy Gem, and then you're going into big prices, the rest. Look, I put up Mullenbeg, as you were saying, Tom, as an outsider in the champion bumper. She's by walk in the park. She's a nice, she's a nice pedigree. And she just looked really good that day at Cheltenham. Now, it wasn't the best race in the world, but it was another listed race, and she won it so easily. The stable all year has been in good form. I thought she'd run in champion bumper. They obviously see an opportunity here to pick up another listed race. She's 5 to 4 even money, but I think she's surely better than all these. And if Milton Harris was talking about her having a chance in the champion bumper of placing, she will definitely beat these.
Yeah, look, I have to agree. Gutted for you that she's not running the champion bumper. I thought she'd have a small squeak of running into a place there. You know, she'd gone well at Cheltenham. Yeah, look, she probably didn't beat a whole deal at Cheltenham, but it was the way she did it was very impressive. And I thought that was a hell of a good effort from her. To be honest, in the context of this race, she's up against Hidden Beauty, who pulled up behind her last day. You could give her another chance, but you know you're taking into a lap of the gods. Did she bleed or what happened to her? The one that obviously stands out is Ashro Diamond. If she came over here, she wasn't beaten very far at all in that Leopardstown bumper, which everyone had pink in the park in their doubles, trebles, accumulators. Yeah, that form's probably okay. And if she came here over, like, she'd be very interesting. She certainly wouldn't be a 9 to 2 shot, but I think if take it that she's not coming, the English horses there that Mullenbeg has got to beat, I think she's gonna, they're gonna find it very hard to beat her.
Yeah, so 2 for Mullenbeg. The last one at Sandown is the Paddy Power Novices Handicap Chase. Another listed race, 2.5 miles. Adramel is in his favourite. Has won his last 2. We've seen Not Her for Charlie Longsdon, Danny Kerwin for Paul Nichols, Frenchie DeLarge for Venetia Williams, Emir Sakra for Nicky, Dorkin Ladd, Gary Moore, Killer Kane, Colin Tizard, and then it's 9-10 to 1 bar. It's hard to know. I like Adramel, but he seems a slow enough horse to me, and seems to his best form is on heavy ground, as far as I can tell. I don't mind him, but whether he's fast enough to be winning 2 mile 4 around Sandown, I don't know. So the one I fell on was Dorkin Ladd. It's come right into form the last 2 races. Gary Moore always gets a couple of winners around Sandown. So if he runs, I'd chance him each way. but not a race I have a strong opinion on.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have too strong an opinion on this race. I think Adramel is a strange horse, isn't he? He either seems to win or pull up. He's literally won 7 out of his 11 races. He's pulled up on 3 of those other occasions, and then he was tailed off in the champion bumper. So he's a odd enough horse that, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to hang my hat on him anyway, and especially not as favourite, even though it is a 6-1 the field job. Look, I did the same with the Zambezi fix thing. I took a scroll down the field, and the one I landed on was Marla's Promise of Seamus Mullins's. Seamus Mullins's team seem in relatively good form. He's had a winner and a second in the last 14 days. Some of the others haven't run well, but they've been 80-1, 100-1, 80-1, 50-1. So the ones that have had relative chance have run very well. This lad, again, another horse with good form at Sandown. Two placed efforts at Sandown this season. It's mad, isn't it, that he's got 2 placed efforts and he's dropped £2. So he's another one that there's an opportunity there for him to go and run well, and he went okay after a break the last day. He's had 56 days off, I think it is. 57 days off. He's off 10 stone 9. Mihal Nolan takes the ride. Yeah, I'd take a chance on him.
Yeah, it's one if you're having a bet. I think an each way bet is the way to go. It's hard to know. Tough race.
Yeah.
So we go to Naas on Sunday, the 220, the King's Furs Novice Hurdle, a grade 3. A lot of these are entered, and some of them are entered at Cheltenham, so hard to know what's going to run. Deploy the Getaways entered, Govan, another decent horse for Willie Mullins, even. And Gypsy Island is actually entered. Tom, no betting. Did you have anything in this that you were thinking you might have a bet on if it's a decent price?
Well, not so much a bet on, more so that I had to do a double take because I scrolled to the bottom of this list and I saw Gypsy.
So did I.
And I said, Jesus Christ, Gypsy Island's still alive. She is, I think she's the place to start with this, really, because she's incredibly talented.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
So, look, if she was to run here, I think she'd probably win, wouldn't she, if she was fairly ready? And I can only presume they will have her fairly ready. I don't know, Dave. What do you think about from that?
Yeah, I think if she runs, she'll be the interesting one. I don't know. She's gone out so long, being very hard to back her, but she would be the interesting one. I think she'd be the one why people would watch the race. Might not be a betting proposition of a race, but she'd be very interesting. If she didn't run, or if I was looking at a bet, I might look at Oliver McKiernan's horse, Gatsby Grey. I like the horse that won the race that he was in the last time with Hurlis, the Goffer, I think is the name of him. I said about him in the Martin Pipe on Sunday, I think. But yeah, it's just interesting to see if she runs. I'd love to see her run because she's wicked talented. She was unreal that day. Her last win, I think, was at Punchestown. Tipperary. But we see myself and Andrew were up in Punchestown when she won the year previous. So it'd be interesting to see her.
Yeah, it would be nice to see her back. The other one I'd throw up if she didn't run is and this one ran here is Slip of the Tongue, trained by Podrick Roach, a very good trainer up on the Curragh. Won the last day, beat Deploy the Getaways. 2 runs before that where he got beaten were by Tiupu in the Grade 2 at Limerick with Calixios in second, and behind St. Felician in Goran. That looks pretty strong form. And if Gypsy Island didn't run, I think JP could still win it with Slip at the top.
Okay. And the last one is the 405 at Naas. The Bar 1 Racing Director's Plate Novice Chase, a Grade 3. Some good horses entered in this. Again, no prices, but Master McShee, Bustleton, he'll most likely run at Cheltenham. Fancy Foundations, A1, I think is how you pronounce that horse. El Barra, Fighter Allen, Lifetime Ambition, who I know yourself and Andrew liked at the start of the year. Shadow Rider, Streets of Diane, Tullyhogue Fort, West Cork Wildway, probably running at Cheltenham as well. Jeremy's Flame, Delvino, Present and Bonnie, and That's Life Boy. Tom, if Jeremy's Flame ran here, I'd be interested in her. I think she was a decent mare a couple of years ago when she ran second in that Talbot hurdle that Fiddler in the Roof won. I think that was the one she was in.
Yeah, that's right.
She could not jump a twig last year. She could not jump a twig last year, but has definitely got her jumping right this year. And I think she's very impressive the last day.
Yeah, I thought she was as well. I was actually at Nace the day that she won up there as well, and yeah, she's a very good mare, that Jeremy's Flame. So yeah, look, she definitely have her chance. Tricky race, as you said about Lifetime Ambition. Got on his first start of the season. You know, I thought he'd be a proper Cheltenham player. He went off 3-1 for the Drinmore on his next start, but has just gone backwards at a rate of knots since then. I mean, I know Jesse's team haven't been in good form this season, but yeah, it's a bit lackluster from him. If he bounced back to that first run and probably even the Drinmore run, he'd go close here. But that's a big if now at this stage. As you said, Busselton will probably go to Cheltenham. I think he's one to keep an eye on him for the handicaps. Master McShee would be interesting if they came here with him. I think he is skipping Cheltenham, so yeah, interesting to see if they came here with him. He'd have a pretty hefty penalty. You have £10 penalty to give to most of them. And the other one I'd give a shout out to is Shadow Rider, horse of William Mullins's. Hasn't run since March last year. Has previously had a 1,009-day break, so clearly has a lot of issues, but is very talented when he runs. I presume again that if he's going to run, they'll have him fairly straight to go. So yeah, he's one to keep an eye on. As I'd agree with Jeremy's Flame and Master McShee with them with the penalty. Look, to be honest, it'd be a no bet race for me. But they're the three I'd be taken out of it to watch.
Okay. We usually do an app and next best. I won't ask you for two good bets this weekend because I don't think there is two great ones. But do you have one bet that you would advise people to go in with before Cheltenham?
I probably do have two actually. I'd bet, and I'd put both. I just put both of them up as each way bets because I think they'll run their races. Is Current Mood in either race that she goes for, and then Zambezi Fix as well. I think he'll most likely run his race.
Yeah, and I just think Mullenbeg will win the weekend. If she runs, I think she will run. I think it's obvious if he's running her Sandown when she had her chance, an outside chance, an each way chance in the champion bumper. So she'll be short, but she should win. Getting on to Cheltenham and our anti-post bets. You said you had one for during the week, but what do you think, Tom, is, I don't know, maybe not your most profitable bet, anti-post bet, but what you consider your best or your favorite anti-post bet and the one that let you down the most?
Well, I think if we do the most profitable is if you watched any show of this podcast, you'll know is Gaelic Warrior. Followed not too far behind actually by Heaven Help Us. I still think she's a crazy price. She's drifting. I know she didn't run well at the Dublin Racing Festival, but God, I'd forgive her that, especially going back to Cheltenham. I think she's getting very, very backable again. I'd put her up 33s. She was into as short as single figures, and she's gone back out again now. I'm not entirely sure what price She is. I'll have a look because I was looking at Betfair as white. I'm not sure what price she is at the bookies. She's back out to 12 to 1, yeah. And judging by Betfair, you'll get bigger than that on the day. So yeah, I think she's getting a bit overpriced again. My favourite one, as you asked Dave, is definitely Chantreuse. 16 to 1 into, I think I saw 6 to 1 somewhere today, as short as. So yeah, I think that's one. It's just one of those horses that copped onto him early after his maiden hurdle win, and was a fan of him since then. So he's my best, and the one that has let me down the most, without going all the way back to Princess Zoe and Tony Runner's not running there, is Envoy Allen. To be honest, I thought he had a chance after he won at Downroy to go and kick on then, and turn his career back around. We were putting him up for the champion chase in the Ryanair. It looks like he's going to run in the champion chase, but God, you're taking a massive leap of faith to back him. And I suppose the other one actually is Eclat de Rire. Got us off 3 to 1 for a Hennessy, which off a mark of 154, I think it was. He'd have had to have been very close to Gold Cup standard, especially this year, if he was going to win a Hennessy off of that. And he got back like defeat was out of the question. So 33 to 1, and I doubt we'll see him the rest of the season.
Yeah, mine started off not so great. They've got better as the weeks have gone on, and some of the ones some of the ones at the start of the year were. Look, I had Fernie in there, and you can't do anything about getting injured, really.
Your first 8 tips, right? You've got one runner.
I know.
Do you know who it is?
I'm looking at him here now.
I've just mentioned him.
Envoy, yeah.
Yeah. It didn't start off well for you, Dave. You haven't pulled it back around. I'll give you that much.
No. My most disappointing one, I you know what? He's running, but he's not running in the race I thought he'd run in. Is Appreciate. I see that picture of him today, that at the races and he's an absolute tank. He's every bit a chaser, and I just thought he was going to be an unreal chaser. And unfortunately, he was obviously injured until too late in the year to get him over fences. But he just looks a specimen of a horse. So it just disappoints me not to see him over fences this year, but hopefully we will next year. My most profitable is probably, I suppose, Dr. Brown Bear. I think, like we both mentioned him, and he has changed ownership and changed trainers, and he's significantly come in the betting. So we had him at 33s. I think you'd be lucky to get 12s, I think, at the moment. So I think he's a right good chance in the Boodles. And my best one, it's Florin Porter. 11 to 1. He's 7 to 2 favourite now. I was rewatching Cheltenham from last night here when I got home from work, and it's the only thing I can see him beaten by is if Classical Dream turns up the way Classical Dream can turn up. Royal Kahala would worry me and it seems she'd go into the stairs, but she'd have a lot to find really on what he showed last year. Came up the hill so well last year. A lot of people are taking him on because he's a bit of a lunatic, but the fact is he's a bit of a lunatic is why he's winning his races. So I think he's probably still a good price. You'll probably get 4 to 1 on the day. They'll probably take him on. Champ is too old. Paisley Park is too old. Time Hill is a suspect there. I think at 3 miles, the last half furlong, he seems to die a death. So, yeah, Florin Porter is probably my best one.
Very good. The one I wanted to put up that it kind of came up as a few people were talking about the race today, and I just started going through it, and it's the Turners. I think there's a bit of, dare we say, value to be had in the place market. So look, it looks very likely that Gallopin is going to go here, and then you've got Bob Ollinger. So there's 2 runners. So then you go down, you've got Lahon Presse they've said, you know, going to go for the Brown Advisory. Brave Man's Game, Brown Advisory, Blue Lord, Arkle, Horse on Colours, Arkle. Jungle Boogie is interesting. I put it on Twitter today to see if anyone knew anything, and 2 people came back to say, you know, they'd heard he was out. He hasn't got a mention in any of the stable
No.
previews. He's a horse who's had issues. I presume he's out. River to Tell, Arkle, St. Sam, Arkle, Fury Road, if he goes anywhere, go for the Brown Advisory. Dusart, can't see him running here. Statler, the National Hunt Trace. Capadano, the Brown Advisory. Gabinaco has just been supplemented for the Arkle. And then you're down to Imperial Alcazar and El Barra and Manila Drama. Now, the only horse I left out of that list is Galard du Mesnil. I just think this could end up literally being 4 runners, 5 runners. I think there will be barely any runners in this race. And with Willie so well looked after or represented in the Arkle, look, Galliard de Mesnil could go for the Brown Advisory, but I think he's far from nailed on to go for it. And if they took a view that, look, turning up here, there's going to be 4, maybe 5 runners max, you know, he for me would be a banker to be third. And you can go and do your own research, lads, but he's 3-1 with another bookmaker. He was 4-1 earlier. I got stuck in. He's now 3-1, and it's non-runner no bet. I think it's Gavin Lynch was saying on our preview that, you know, 90% of the horses will be bigger on the day than they are now, which is very true. So when you can find a bit of value like that this close, I think you have to take it, especially non-runner no bet. So I think 3-1 him to be placed is a cracking bet.
So there we go. A last anti-post bet from Tom before we sign off. We'll leave it there. We are back on Monday night, going through Tuesday and Wednesday's cards, and then Wednesday going through Thursdays and Fridays cards. Andrew will be back and taking over. My stint as host is over for now, but thank you for listening. And until Sunday, have a good weekend.